If you're trying to buy or sell a home in Charleston right now, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is letting someone describe the entire market with one blanket statement. Because Charleston is not one market anymore. One neighborhood can still have multiple serious buyers competing for the right house, while another property just 10 minutes away, it sits, takes a price reduction, and still needs seller concessions to get across the finish line. One seller may be in a strong position because they have the right location, condition, lot, and price point. Another seller can miss the market by just a few percent and watch their listing go stale. So in this video, I want to break down what is actually happening in Charleston real estate right now, where buyers have leverage, where sellers still have the advantage, and how to make a smart move whether you're relocating from out of state, moving locally, or thinking about selling a home here in the Lowcountry. Real quick, my name's Hunter Javier. I'm a local Charleston realtor, and I work through the greater Charleston area from downtown Charleston, Mount Pleasant, Somerville, Goose Creek, West Ashley, James Island, Johns Island, North Charleston, Daniel Island, and the surrounding Lowcountry. If you're serious about buying or selling here, this is the type of market where local strategy matters. Let's start with the bigger picture. According to recent public housing data, the Charleston-North Charleston metro has more listings than it did during the ultra-tight years. The median listing price is sitting right around $500,000. Homes are taking longer to sell than they did during the peak frenzy, and price reductions are showing up more often. That doesn't mean Charleston is crashing, and it doesn't mean every buyer is suddenly in control either. What it means is that the easy market is gone. A few years ago, almost anything decent could get attention pretty quickly because buyers had so few options. They were frustrated, sellers had the leverage, and pricing mistakes were often forgiven. Now the market is more selective. Buyers are still here, but they're looking much harder at value. They're comparing neighborhoods, calculating monthly payments, thinking about insurance costs, taxes, HOA fees, flood zones, commute times, school zones, and resale value. That's why I say the market has split. The first category is what I call the still strong market. These are the homes that check the boxes buyers already know are hard to replace. Think updated homes in prime parts of Mount Pleasant, desirable pockets of James Island, well-located properties near downtown Charleston, strong school zones, waterfront or marsh view properties that are priced realistically, and clean houses in neighborhoods where inventory stays limited. If a home has the right location, condition, and price, it can still move fast. Buyers should not assume they can lowball every listing just because they heard inventory's up. If the property is one of the better options in that price range, you still need to write a clean offer and understand what matters to the seller. Sometimes that means price. Sometimes it means a flexible closing date. Sometimes it comes down to inspection terms, financing strength, or giving the seller enough confidence that you're not going to waste their time. The second category is the negotiation market. This is where buyers usually have a little bit more room. These are homes that are slightly overpriced, need updates, have awkward layouts, sit in price points with heavier inventory, or belong to sellers who are still chasing last year's numbers instead of paying attention to today's buyer market behavior. This is where buyers can ask for repairs, concessions, rate buydowns, closing cost help, or better price. That does not mean you can throw out a random lowball and hope that it works. It means you can support your offer with real data like days on market, price reductions, competing listings, recent pending sales, condition differences, and the cost of improvements that the home still needs. For sellers, this part matters. The market is not rewarding lazy pricing right now. If your home is listed too high, most buyers will not call immediately to negotiate. They'll save it, watch it, compare it to better options, and wait. Once the listing sits, the first question becomes, what's wrong with it? That's the question you want to avoid. The third category is the lifestyle premium market. Charleston has a lot of this. People don't want to move here only because of the square footage. They move here for the beach, boating, restaurants, history, weather, the job growth, and a better family lifestyle. That lifestyle premium is why certain areas continue to hold value even when affordability gets tighter. Downtown has history and walkability that can't be recreated. Mount Pleasant has the schools and access to the beaches and restaurants that are unique to its area. Daniel Island offers master plan convenience, parks, trails, and a clean suburban feel while still keeping you connected to Charleston. James Island gives you access to Folly Beach and downtown. West Ashley offers more value compared with the peninsula and Mount Pleasant, while still keeping you close to the core of Charleston. Somerville, Goose Creek, and parts of Berkeley County give buyers more house for the money, more new construction, and in many cases, more attainable family options. That's why you can't just judge a Charleston property by price per square foot alone. Price per square foot matters a lot, but it doesn't explain everything. A renovated cottage near downtown is not competing with a larger new construction home 40 minutes away. A home in Mount Pleasant is not priced the same way as a similar sized home in Goose Creek. A property in an X-flood zone may be viewed differently than a similar property with a high flood insurance concern. A home with no HOA may attract a completely different buyer pool than one in a master plan community with amenities. Now, let's talk about buyers. If you're buying in Charleston right now, the opportunity is not that everything is cheap. The opportunity is that you have more choices than buyers had during the tightest part of the market. And on the right property, you may have real negotiating room. The smart move is to identify where the seller may be vulnerable before you write the offer. Here are the questions I would be asking. How long has the home been active? Has there already been a price reduction? Are similar homes sitting nearby? Do comparable sales close higher because they're renovated, larger, newer, or better located? Is the property vacant? Has the seller already bought another home? Does it need a roof, HVAC, crawl space, drainage, windows, or exterior work? Could insurance surprise the buyer? Are taxes currently based on a primary residence but likely to change after purchase? This is how you find leverage. A lot of buyers make the mistake of asking, what percentage below list should I offer? This is the wrong question. List price is just a marketing number. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's a wish, and sometimes it's bait. Sometimes it's already below market to create activity. The better question is, what is the property worth compared with the alternatives, and what terms give us the best chance of getting a deal without overpaying for the property? If you're an out-of-state buyer, this matters even more. Charleston has details that can completely change the real cost of ownership. Flood zones, insurance, HOA rules, termite bonds, crawl space condition, drainage, traffic patterns, school assignments, short-term rental rules, and property tax classification can all affect how good a deal really is. A house can look perfect online and still have issues that don't show up in the photos. Now for sellers, if you're selling in Charleston, this market can be very good, but it's not automatic. You need 3 things: correct pricing, strong presentation, and a launch strategy that creates attention immediately. Correct pricing doesn't mean underpricing your home. It means pricing it where buyers can justify the value based on what's actually closed, what's currently pending, and what they can buy instead. If you go too high, you can lose the best buyers in the first week. If you price with discipline, you can create urgency while the listing is still fresh. Presentation matters because buyers are more payment sensitive. When rates are higher, people become less forgiving. They're already stretching for the monthly payment, so if the home also needs paint, landscaping, flooring, cleaning, or obvious repairs, they start mentally subtracting. Sometimes a few $1,000s in preparation can protect tens of thousands in negotiation. The launch matters because attention is highest when a listing first hits the market. That means professional photos, clean marketing, video when it makes sense, a strong description, targeted exposure, open house planning, and clear communication with agents who have active buyers. You can't just put a sign in the yard and expect the market to do the rest. The biggest seller mistake I'm seeing is pricing for where the market was instead of where buyers are today. The second is refusing to make simple improvements before going live. The third is waiting too long to adjust once the data shows that buyers are not responding. A good listing strategy should answer these questions before the home ever hits the market. Who is the likely buyer? What else are they considering? What objections will they have? How do we remove as many of those objections as possible before they become negotiating points? In Mount Pleasant, buyers may compare your home against school zone demand, newer construction, and proximity to the beaches. In West Ashley, the decision may come down to commute, updates, flood risk, and price compared with James Island or Johns Island. Around Somerville, buyers often focus more on monthly payment, neighborhoods, amenities, school options, and builder incentives from nearby new construction. Downtown Charleston is different again. Buyers pay attention to the historic charm, walkability, parking, exterior maintenance, flood zone exposure, and whether the property feels authentic without becoming a project. Different buyer, different strategy. That's the point of this entire video. Charleston is not a market where one blanket opinion works. The right answer depends on the specific area, price point, competition, and motivation on the other side of the deal. If you're a buyer, this market can give you a real opportunity, but you still have to move decisively when the right property appears. Waiting for a perfect deal in premium Charleston location can backfire because the best homes still attract attention. If you're a seller, you may still have strong equity and demand on your side, but only if you respect what buyers are comparing you against. The market has not disappeared. It has become more honest. Good homes in good locations with smart pricing are still selling. Average homes with aggressive pricing are being questioned. Problem properties are getting negotiated. Buyers are more analytical. Sellers have to be more prepared, and agents need to do a lot more than just unlock doors and fill out paperwork. That's where local experience matters. If you're thinking about buying in Charleston, I can help you compare neighborhoods, run the numbers, understand the hidden costs, and structure an offer that makes sense for the actual property. If you're thinking about selling, I can help you price it correctly, prepare it the right way, and market it so buyers understand the value before they ever walk through the door. And if you're relocating here, don't rely on what you see online. The Charleston area changes street by street, neighborhood by neighborhood, and sometimes even lot by lot. There are areas where buyers should be aggressive, and others where patience and negotiation matter way more. Some homes deserve a confident launch price, while others need weak points fixed before going public. That's the difference between general advice and a real strategy. If you're planning a move in the Charleston area, reach out to me directly. My number is 843-906-0244, and the rest of my information is in the description. Tell me what you're trying to do, where you're looking, and what your timeline is, and I'll help you figure out the smartest path. For more Charleston real estate advice without the generic fluff, subscribe. I'm going to keep breaking down the neighborhoods, the numbers, and the decisions that actually matter when you're buying or selling here in the Lowcountry.